The Flash movie is just weeks away after nearly 10 years of being in development, from going different directors, different writers, back and forth on whether this film was ever going to get made. Finally, the film releases in just a few weeks. But is it all it's cracked up to be? Are we in for a treat, or is it just another bland attempt by DC and Warner Brothers at cracking that superhero comic book genre? Here's the thing. This movie, regardless whether it's amazing, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's meh, it doesn't matter at this point. See, something that I've been trying to tell people for the better part of, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years now, is to not worry so much about what is going to come from a DC film or from a superhero movie. Marvel has trained our brains and trained the audience in such a way that everything has to connect and everything matters to the future and not the here and now of the film that we are watching. We know that James Gunn is coming in and essentially rebooting the entire thing, creating a new DCEU that is going to be far more connected and fluid and have a better plan than we've ever had before, even the Zack Snyder plan. But here's the thing. And before you all get upset screaming at me in the comments saying you don't know what you're talking about, let's take a look at some of these ridiculous and some amazing comments from those who've gotten a chance to see the Flash movie already. We got Epic Film Guys. After a second viewing, it has been fully cemented the Flash movie is one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. But what does that mean in the grand scheme of things? Because we know that James Gunn is going to be rebooting everything essentially and moving forward in a different direction. But what does that mean? Absolutely nothing. You don't need to get upset at Epic Film Guys for enjoying this film. You don't need to get upset with them thinking that it's one of the best comic book movies of all time. They're allowed to think that, and it could very well be true and be the case. The Flash movie is a mixed bag for me. Much of the film felt very messy with too much thrown at you. None of the story has depth. The actors all do well with what they're given, but the opening stands out the most with Ben and Ezra creating such an awesome duo saving the city. This is something that, to me, has been kind of an issue with fans going into this film because of the connection it still has with what Zack Snyder created. You're going to have these type of fans, these type of people who obviously want to see more of that. And I'm not calling out danger here, but maybe he's exactly right. Maybe it isn't a great movie. Maybe it doesn't have depth. Or maybe he's looking for more of that Zack Snyderification of the film. Let's see, we have Josh Herrera. The Flash was fan-freaking-tastic. Ezra is the shining star of the movie and gives emotional performance that had me crying tears of joy, just like I do every time during Speed Force scene in Zack Snyder Justice League. I can confirm the Flash movie is 100% canon to Snyderverse and must see. Well, that is interesting because that's contrary to what a lot of people have been saying prior to this. Again, you have these people who believe that it has to be connected to something. Regardless if it's connected to Zack Snyder's Justice League, if it's connected to Batman vs. Superman, whether it's connected to Justice League, regardless of what it's connected to, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things because we're moving past it. So there's no reason to care in that regard. Ashley Saunders. Now, we know this is going to be a good one because she has to have her pronouns in there. Oh boy. Just got out of The Flash and it was not good. If you want to see it because of Keaton and nostalgia fan service, okay, you might not love it all though. But if you want the Flashpoint told in a coherent way, watch the TV show. First off, don't even try and say the Flashpoint was good in the Flash TV show. That was a sad excuse of trying to pull off Flashpoint. So don't even say that. But let's go a step further. Why is it not good? You don't tell us why it's not good, which has been kind of big for a lot of the people who are saying it's not good. They're either saying that it has no depth or that it's a bad interpretation of Flashpoint, which it's not supposed to be the same exact Flashpoint that was in the comics, that was an animated film that was poorly done in the Flash show. It's a different type of Flashpoint story that kind of touches on the same ideas. And here's the thing, if they would have copied Flashpoint exactly, people would be upset about that. Let's face it, Nick Zednick, The Flash is a comic book movie masterpiece. I said it, I'm so happy, believe the hype. So that's kind of what we're hearing about The Flash. We're hearing a mixed bag, which is pretty typical for this. And we're going to get a lot of haters out there saying it's crap, but why does it matter? That's what people. The success or failure of this movie will not affect what's happening with DC. It will not affect what James Gunn is doing with DC. If this movie wasn't there, James Gunn would be doing the same thing as he's doing right now. There's no reason to bash this film. There's no reason to hype it up. This isn't continuing on in any form or fashion. This is it. This is the final movie in the old DCEU. Essentially, yes, we could see some continuation in an Elseworlds down the line, hopefully. But as we stand right now, go see this movie. Enjoy the movie. Don't look at it as something that's it could build to. Don't look at what it's connected to. Just go watch this movie for the movie. Go watch it for the story, the spectacle. Just like we used to do with comic book movies in the early 2000s and in the 90s. Granted, they weren't all great. Most weren't great. But we still did that and still had a blast coming out of the theater, going to midnight premieres and talking about it for weeks on end. That's what we need to do. That's what we as a fandom of superhero films need to get back to. Don't worry so much about how it connects to an overall universe. Rather, just enjoy the film for what it is. Let me know your thoughts, though. Are you excited about the Flash movie? Tickets are on sale now. Did you pick yours up? Let me know your thoughts. Are you going to see it? Are you excited to see it? Let us know. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, share this with all your friends and family. And with all that said, I'll talk to all of you later.